So a while back, I did a video pretty much solidifying and pretty much putting the iron fist down on respecting the females in the sports industry. Does not matter where it is, whether it's the WNBA, women's hockey, women's soccer. I kept forgetting the ladies have their own volleyball league. Did you guys know that? And you can't forget all the stuff about professional wrestling and all the ladies who are doing their thing in the squared circle as well, because some of those are the best athletes there is. But then everyone wants to get on the bandwagon of wanting to love/hate the entire world of what's been going on with Caitlyn Clark. Let's put it into perspective. You don't have very many generational talents that go around the entire world of sports. Jordan was one of them. Who knows what Caitlyn Clark is going to do? Because the WNBA has been around for over 25 some years. And it's been good. Not terrible, not great, but good. They even had iconic stars in the past. The business wasn't ran like it is now. And when you get a generational talent like Caitlyn Clark coming in, leading scorer in the history of the NCAA, you have this persona and this full-fledged 18-wheeler driving down the highway of something that is going to raise the integrity and the eyes of the sports world in the female perspective. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's one thing that the Women's Hockey League is going to blow up, because I think that's going to happen. But Caitlyn Clark, love her, hate her, and quite honestly, if you are a hater, that's going to get you likes, that's going to get you ratings, but you are an absolute weirdo if you have to hate on Caitlyn Clark. It's basketball. Everybody hates each other. Everybody loves to trash talk each other. It's a team sport. It's one of the most expensive sports to go to. Now that Caitlyn Clark is running amok and going around in the WNBA now in her rookie season, even though it's a team in the Indiana Fever that's not a very good one, she has lifted the eyes of a lot of ladies and a lot of young women who aspire to someday follow in her footsteps. This video, not necessarily going to be jumping down anyone's throats. It's Caitlyn Clark and the WNBA. You are on the rise to making something pretty damn interesting. And when you are interesting, that's when you are talked about. We're going to have some fun on the laptop. Every time you ever get a chance to jump on this, there is that thing and a subscribe button. Please hit that if you want to be alerted to new stuff, as we talk a lot of different stuff on this channel. And Caitlyn Clark and the WNBA, we're going to have some fun on the laptop. Let's go to work. And as always, you like to continue joining us here on this crazy channel that we do. There is that thing called a subscribe button. Definitely hit that if you want to get alerted to all the stuff that we do. Doesn't matter. As I've said many times, the Gen Z stuff, the hockey content, and all the story times we've done on here. We've done a lot of different stuff on this channel lately. But it is the world of evolution that we do here in Shimmy Jam Sessions. And as always and forever, we do appreciate you. But it started out basically pretty much, I don't talk about basketball much, as I have one video of basketball on my channel. I got like 16, 20 views. I don't know, because I'm not a basketball guy. But people are going off of the world of with Caitlyn Clark, Angel Reese and all the great stars that is jumping and giving a nice big gigantic kickstart to the WNBA of how popular it's starting to be. But one thing's for certain that I have to bring up is, and many people say this, when you are interesting, you're talked about. If you're not interesting, we don't talk about you. We don't bring it up. And the WNBA never really was talked about for a handful of years. Basically, not just because there wasn't a lot of big stars, the business wasn't booming. There wasn't a lot of great business people running these teams. A lot of these teams folded. A lot of these teams moved. And one team had to move to Connecticut and become the Connecticut Sun. And the only reason they did that, to play outside of stores in Hartford, is because of UConn. That is pretty much the only reason. Other than that, you now get the rise of what the WNBA has been. And Caitlin Clark has been that reason. Now, love her, hate her, she's generational talent. You've seen it, and you've seen it on and off in the NCAA tournament, especially against Angel Reese and LSU, and a handful of other teams. And a lot of people, a lot of actually fans actually wanted to see Iowa win the national title and have something, and Caitlin Clark would have something to take with her. They just ran into a juggernaut in South Carolina. It just is what it is. But now you are into the point where business grows. And one thing's for certain, we've seen a lot of different things, and the WNBA needs to grow. It needs to expand. If you have these generational, talented players coming in and are boosting not just the revenue, but you're talking everything from boosting the product, the seats, the attendance, the food in the stands. The ticket prices have jumped just because of one person, perhaps two, maybe three, but mostly it's under Caitlin Clark. The biggest example is they just recently had a game. It was Indiana at Washington against the Mystics. And if I read correctly, there was 20,000 people for that game. And Washington plays their games normally, I believe, in a smaller building. They had to move that game to the Capital One Center, where the Wizards and the Capitals play, and they got 20,000 for that game. And Indiana won, but it shows the product boom and the demand of what one person does. Generational talents don't come around that often. And when you get someone like Caitlin Clark who breaks the NCAA scoring record, that's something you have to keep your eyes on. I mean, you don't find generational lightning in a bottle talent. You don't find it like Jordan or Bird or even Gretzky or Lemieux or Magic or Kareem or even a LeBron or a Steph Curry. You don't find them. And now the WNBA has it and has one, and including others. And Angel Reese threw that out there in that one piece where she said she's not the only reason. That's me too, and she's not wrong. And the body check done by the Kennedy girl that happened on Caitlin, a lot of people want to jump all over. Oh, it's content, it's news. Well, they compared her to Draymond Green, and Caitlin kind of was like, it's basketball. People, I mean, we take this stuff all the time. But the thing is, business needs to boom, and I'll show you this real quick, because there's news now that the WNBA is expanding. Toronto's getting a team, and I don't have the thing right now at the moment, but Golden State also has a team now. They're called the Valkyries, and they're like black, pastel, pink, and blue, and white or something. But Golden State's coming, and so is Toronto. There's rumors Boston wants one, and Miami might be coming as well. I'm going to show you this, and it goes a little something like that. This is basically what happens and what should be going on. I mean, look at this. These are most of the defunct teams back in the early 2000s. And that's basically kind of like the Cheryl Swoops, Tina Thompson days, the Rebecca Lobos, I mean, look at this. I mean, you've got all these teams in cities that can, without a shadow of a doubt, boost a product. Charlotte Sting, Cleveland Rockers. I think the Charlotte Sting was where Don Staley played, if I remember correctly. Easily. Charlotte's a basketball. I know the Charlotte Hornets aren't great right now, but there's an immediate push right there. Bring Cleveland back. Detroit, there's rumors Detroit is trying to talk into coming back as well, because they would also have a building they can play Little Caesars. Now, the Houston Comets, I don't understand it. Houston Comets back in the early days were a dynasty. That was Cheryl Swoops, Tina Thompson days. They won 3 titles. They were done in 2008. That team needs to come back, and it shouldn't even, and I like saying this a lot, shouldn't even be an argument. That, hands down. And then you got Miami wants to come back. Well, there you go. Now you got your identity in the soul. They were only around for 3 years. Orlando was only around. Orlando was the team that moved to Connecticut. You got Portland, the Portland Fire. The Sacramento Monarchs was one of the original ones. They played in the old Arco Arena. The San Antonio Golden, or Silver Stars or whatever. I think they were the ones that moved to Dallas. I don't know what this T logo is. I think that was with the Tulsa Shock when Detroit moved, and then you got the Utah Stars. That they originated. They were originators. The WNBA with this group of talent, with this unbelievable amount of talent, and I'm talking a Caitlin Clark. I'm talking Angel Reese, Aja Wilson, Alyssa Pilley from Minnesota, Cameron Brink, the forward slash center who went to the Sparks. What about Kelsey Plum, who plays for the Aces? She's like another Kardashian lookalike. Skylar Diggins is still around. There was a girl named Jewel. She was like the WNBA MVP. And what was the name? Aneki Ogwumike, or forgive me if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but she was also one of those big stars. Um, you now have a boatload of talent for people to show off. Get these teams back in, find some good business people, men or women. It doesn't matter. Women prefer it because I think the people who are running Golden State or majority of them are female, and that's great for business and great for the sports industry. I don't care who, bring these teams back and make it at least go to 24 because uh, you now have a booming product with a lot of people that are trying to boost this product. And when you get generational talent, why not? Why not push yourself to trying to get yourself back into the league? And you know what? Boost an area, boost a product, show it off, and be like, hey, and be somebody in Charlotte, and be like, well, we're going to bring the Charlotte team back because we want to bring basketball back. We want to bring women's basketball back. But it would be great if we had Caitlin Clark and show it off, and you'd sell 16,000 tickets. Yeah, remember these ticket prices jacked up just for one person. But now you know generational talent. We hope it works out for Caitlin because she's taken a lot of abuse from 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 analysts, from former players to. I mean, I'm like, he's going to be fine. She got snubbed from the Olympic team. It's kind of weird, and she doesn't care. She was. I don't have the. I had a thing up on me, but she did say something like it's something to shoot for. I'm not worried about it. Something to shoot for down the road for 2028, which the Olympics are in Los Angeles again. Something to shoot for. Maybe the 3-on-3 league that's coming up. Maybe the 3-on-3 Olympic. They haven't filled anything out yet in that, but it's something to shoot for. But I just glanced at the roster, and it's mostly all the veterans. The women's team has not lost a game in the Olympics since '92. Yeah, there's that saying: if it isn't broke, don't fix it. But it's like I know some of the business people are saying they would like Diana Taurasi, who's 41, still playing for the Mercury, have one last chance for another gold, and not put Caitlin Clark in. But it is what it is. What can I possibly say? But she's not worried about it. She's going to go out and I get another thing. Indiana had a really like screwed up early schedule, playing like 11 games in 20 days or something like that. So she's worn out, but she's still going to go out and ball. That's what you got to do. And you know what? I'd love to see this continue because every other sport and for women's sports is growing. The women's hockey league is going to boom up. There's a women's volleyball league that just started. Yes, Omaha's in it, and they get 15,000 a game. But you're seeing the rise, and I know everyone's going to have their opinion on Caitlin Clark and Aja Wilson and Angel Reese and all these other stars. Is it going to be enough for the WNBA to blow to, you know, it's not going to skyrocket like the NBA, but it's right up there in conjunction. So, what is your take with the Caitlin Clark situation and all that? Everybody's going to have their opinion on that. I try to stay out because I'm not a major baller fan, but I am. I just see something I'm like, just got to throw this out there because I don't really go on ball much. But I do appreciate you hanging out and hearing a little bit something. I'm like, hey, I think this WNBA thing could boom a little bit, maybe to a city that doesn't have any basketball stuff. Who knows down the road? So until then, I get to throw this one at you, and As I say, sometimes you made it to the end of this video, and I do appreciate you. There is that thing called a subscribe button. I would definitely like to see you guys come back in the next one and hit that, and you'll be alerted and to more stuff down the road, more crazy stuff that we talk about. And until then, the bar is closed, and I will see you, Bloody Legends, in the next one. Don't forget, hit that button so I can definitely see you back here next time.